Hello everybody and welcome to our presentation about the urban interventions. We want to take you on a journey through different cities with different stories. Here you can see the resume of all the projects the teams in our group were working on. As you can see, we all built different types of city scenarios, but interpreted it very individual and in a special way. Let's have a further look to each project and the process it took to get to these end results. Let's begin with the first scene. Out of our latent walk videos, we have created those interesting objects. We interpreted those three objects as big buildings out of stone in different shapes and colors, with ivy and flowers around the whole facade to give it the nature look. We thought it would be great to get these nature buildings into a modern big city scene to set a contrast, but also a connection. That brought us to the idea to combine it with a tower in the middle of a city district. To keep the shape and to visualize the scale of our stone building, we used it as the middle part of the tower. To merge both of them into one, we integrated parts of the stone buildings into the tower facade. To set the focus on our hybrid buildings, we built a tower row along the street, so these are the first things you will see when you walk along the avenue. Spotlights are also meant to emphasize the special construction. The hybrid buildings are meant to be sightseeing attractions, but more important for us was the meaning of the message. Those hybrid buildings symbolize strength, stability, and the power of nature. And the idea behind of it was to show that the nature stone will not only be one part of the tower, but also slowly takes over all other parts. Let's continue with Team Disturbia. The first thing we saw when we got the result objects out of our latent walk videos was a city with the object as buildings. Buildings in not good condition. So the question we asked us was, what can be the reason for a city to be this devastated? And what if we are the answer? Have you ever wondered what the world will look like if we don't treat the world correctly? Plastic waste, no waste separation, bad gas distribution. All of this and much more pollutes our planet. This animation shows how the world may look in the future based on the current situation if we don't start to change our lifestyle. We also built streets and a virtual environment into it and gave the whole thing a space. With fog, rain and fire animations, we countered our project with a virtual life. With the animation, dirt and broken buildings, we want to present an almost abandoned city. And that's the way we build up the whole scene, to set the focus on the might-be future and the story behind. Now further to the thoughts of our next group about their scene. Opposite to the theme, back to the roots, the whole process started off with pictures of leaves which we took by ourselves. The outcome of these pictures gave us many ideas for our further work. After editing the objects multiple times, we came up with this latest model. As our object conveys calmness and stability, we thought it would be great to use it as the center of a city park, as a place of escape from the everyday stress. We considered that especially in big cities, the stress level could be enormously high and the relaxation is often cut short. That is also the reason why we have put it in the middle of the city. So even the view out of the office buildings around will provide a pleasant and calm working atmosphere. The height of the stone building with the viewing platform on top is adjusted to the skyscrapers around to offer a view above and through the buildings of the neighborhood, to provide a feeling of freedom. Team Urban City wants to also share their story with you. We developed a lot of different objects out of our latent walk videos, some solid ones and some very interesting and abstract ones. We converted the most compact one into a building and used the rest as a mix of abstract skyscrapers and sculptures in different scales, shapes and colors. After editing our buildings, we had the idea to set the focus on the modern building and to use the abstract buildings as skyscrapers in the back to show the density of a city. Through playing around with scales and placements, we decided to build our city scene around the modern buildings with a park in the middle. To keep the aesthetic of the city, we added tiny sculptures into the park with the similar type of construction of the skyscrapers. Therefore, it was possible for us to use all our objects we created and to combine them in a special way. The center is meant to be a place of community, a public area with free buildings for culture, education and leisure. The skyscrapers around should show the difference between the dense arrangement of the city to the open and calm area to inspire oneself for a further development. Last but not least, we are ending our presentation with our last group. We decided that our created meshes will be quite large in scale early on, but we didn't want them to become actual houses themselves. So we used them as a special facade of skyscrapers. As we wanted to keep the connection to our dataset, we created multiply of different variants in different shapes and colors. At first, we had the idea to put all our special buildings at one place, separated from the main city by a river that flows in between. We built a city in an ice desert where the snowstorm is about to wrap the city with fog. But as we wanted to arrange our scene more interesting, we decided to integrate our buildings better into the city and build it more densely overall. We kept the atmosphere of a snowstorm to show a difference between the cold city buildings and the spacey put on. The focus of our scene are the facades, but they only become interesting once we put them into the other doll houses. Without the surrounding buildings, the object loses its best quality, their uniqueness. We gave them a shiny, surrealistic metallic material to convey that they are coming from a different world to take over the city buildings. We would like to thank you all for your attention, and we are very happy that we got the chance to share our stories with you. Thank you and goodbye.